I got into it with one of my coworkers at my old job. You hear me? So, man, I was talking to the pastor because the pastor working over there too. I got into it with the pastor too, but that's for another story. I'm going to tell that in the next video. And I got into it with another dude who also goes to the same church. I don't think he go to the same church with the pastor, but we used to communicate. You hear me? Like, I think I was the youngest one there. I was at the warehouse. I was the youngest one there. I'm 21. You hear me? I was the youngest one there. They all in their 40s. Whoop, whoop. You hear me? So, man, I ain't even gonna joke. I was talking to the pastor. The pastor was my dog. Man, he was my dog, son. You hear me? At least I felt like. But, you know, that's for another story. So, me and the pastor communicating, whoop, whoop. You hear me? And the dude ended up hearing, you know what I'm saying? One of the dudes, I'm going to call him light-skinned because he was light-skinned. You hear me? So, light-skinned, you hear me? He came up, he said, hold on, what you said? Say that again? Whoop, whoop. You hear me? Keep in mind, I'm communicating with the pastor. Why is you in my business, pal? Hey, buddy, pal, this is not a conversation you need to be engaging in. Did I use that word right? Fuck it. So, boom. You hear me? I'm like, hey. So, this what happened. This is what I said. The pastor was asking me about, you know, sexual. You hear me? So, I'm like, shit, I ain't that type of dude. Because he was asking me about, do I know God? And I was like, nah, I don't really be, you know, having, you know, intercourses with anybody. I know how to control my sexual energy. I really, really do. You hear me? I don't just do that with anybody. I mean, I did it before multiple times, of course. You hear me? But I'm not that dude. I don't just, you know, stick it in this individual, stick it in that one, stick it in that one. You hear me? Diseases get, you know, flying around like that. They be flying around like that, big brother. I'm not that type of guy. You hear me? So, you know, me and the pastor communicating, whoop, whoop. You hear me? And dude ended up hearing what I'm saying. He said, you 21? You 21 and you not doing that? Whoop, whoop. I said, hold on, wait, don't put words in my mouth. I am, but just not crazily doing it. I know how to control my sexual energy. You hear me? This a ultimate grown man. I'm a grown man too, but he an ultimate grown man. You 40-something. You hear me? Big brother, you 40-something. Why is you being childish? Man, when I was your age, that was you. That's not me. That's not me. That was you, bro. Just because you out here busting up anything doesn't mean I want to. Let me bust up something once in a while. You hear me? I busted up about 2 months ago. 2 months later, I'm going to bust up. Big brother, I don't want to bust up anything. You hear me? That's just me, Chad. I ain't going to joke. That's just me. You hear me? So, he started a rumor. I'm gay. He telling all the co-workers, keep in mind, we in the back, so when you go to the front, it got buku females up there. You hear me? I'm like, no, swear to God. He said, I'm finna tell everybody. Who? Man, say, you tell him I'm gonna knock your head off in this bitch. What you, big brother, I'm not zesty. You hear me? What you going around telling people I'm zesty for? Because I'm not doing it with anybody? He said, if I bring you around my partners and you don't bust up, we gonna jump you. Because I don't want to hit her? Bro, I don't know this individual. Come on, man. This world is messed up. Is this what we doing with anybody? Hey, buddy, pal, what you mean? You hear me? So, boom, he ended up, you know, I don't know if he went to go tell him, but he was telling me he gonna tell him woo. So, boom, he came back from the front. He on the phone with his partner. Woo. Man, this dude here, man, I can't believe it. Hey, cuz, tell him what we was doing when we was kids, cuz. Tell him what we was doing. Woo. You hear me? So I'm like, man, you out your body, big brother. Like, you really playing on my top in front of me. You hear me? Keep in mind, big brother, I couldn't lose my job. I was in a hole. I was praying to get this job. Now that I got it, I can't lose it just to go back in that same hole and continue praying. I'm in that hole right now, by the way. You hear me? But shit, I'm like, shit, why would I do that? I can't just stretch them. I can't flex them. You hear me? I can't stretch them. I can't flex them. I can't boss them up. You hear me? I can't do it to them. I'm going to go back to that same exact hole I was in that I'm in now. You hear me? So I'm like, I can't do that. You hear me? So boom. Man, I ain't going to count. I was building something because I'm in a warehouse, so I'm in a building, you hear me, and I'm trying to finish up my stuff, you know what I'm saying? So he gonna come over by me. I can't believe I'm working with you. Look how you be moving. I knew you was zesty. You be moving all feminine. I'm like, bro, why is you still talking about this? Keep in mind, before all this, he already be talking zesty. You hear me? He be, big brother, he always asking me questions about sexual things. You know what I'm saying? Like, always. So I'm thinking in my head, this guy must be zesty. You know what I'm saying? Then this happened about a couple weeks after all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, every day he talking about doing something with a female. Is you trying to cover it up? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, you gotta be zesty. Because every time you always talking about this a room full of dudes. Bro, stop. Every day, I don't want to hear that every day. Can we talk about the football game? Can we talk about the NBA, the NFL? Shit, I volunteer to talk about golf. Can we do something? You hear me? Like, why is we talking about the same thing over and over? It became a problem to me. You hear me? So, boom. When this bitch whoop whoop, he came up to me and he just saying, you know, family whoop whoop. And he was being loud, but he always loud. You know how they got that person who always talk buku loud. Like, for example, your mama would just talk loud on a regular. So, you know, like, that's how she talk. You hear me? Woo woo. Or somebody who just talk loud that you know. So I ain't taking it in no type of way until I you know what I'm saying? I'm used to him talking loud, but then it was a loud I wasn't used to. It was getting louder and louder. I'm like, man, hold on, what the fuck? I bet the fuck out you. Woo woo. You hear me? Gangster in this bitch. Who? And then I'm like, man, Saint, chill out, Saint. Woo woo. He like, man, I ain't the Saint. I ain't the Saint. I ain't the Saint. Stop calling me a Saint. I ain't the Saint. Long story short, I didn't battle the individual. I couldn't lose my job, pal. You hear me? I didn't battle him. But, you know, we arguing woo to woo. Man, say, hold me back. Nobody held me back. That's a good thing. You hear me? Nobody held me back. But look, check this out. After that, it's only 4 of us. And I got into it with all 3 of them. It's only 4 of us, including me, that make 4. You know what I'm saying? And I got into it with all 3 of them. That's gonna be 2. That's gonna be like, you know, 3 different stores for 3 different days. You know what I'm saying? So after all that, I ain't gonna cap. He came up to me. He apologized to me. Woo, woo. He tried to shake my hand. I said, shit, no, you out your body. I ain't shaking your hand. You hear me? Woo, woo. But I ain't gonna cap. Like, that's really all that happened. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna cap. He came like a grown man and he tried to shake my hand and say, you know what? I apologize. I was childish of me. You hear me? Woo, woo. I ain't gonna cap. But, you know, yeah.